Hi, I'm Neosha Seema. I am currently a sophomore, and I've been in USG for about a year and a half as an engineering representative in the DEI committee, and now I'm running for VP DEI.
Hi, my name is Kyla Wilson Hill. I am a freshman and I currently do not have a position on USG, but I am running for VP of D&I, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion on USG.
Definitely. I think a current initiative that we're already working on is kind of sending out a newsletter, making sure that we consolidate everything that both the government is sending out, President Kaler is sending out. I also want to make sure that we create spaces on campus where students still feel like they can go and have a voice. One factor of that being an initiative that I've already kind of spearheaded this past semester of creating kind of like a meditation/prayer room in Twing, so students can feel like they have a place to go to kind of like decompartmentalize while being in like the hecticness of campus. Another thing is I guess also kind of making students feel like they have the right to voice their opinions without having to face repercussions in a way by clarifying by clarifying kind of what the course of action is, like action and direct consequence, because I think there's kind of a very like blurry line between that right now. So students don't really do anything because they're scared of what actions might be taken against them if they speak up. Yeah.
So I have seen that USG has it's just been not as informative as I wanted to. So I do want to do more outreach in my position, and I did see that, and I was very devastated by it. It affected me personally, and I just want to make sure that everyone is informed about different things. But I also want to make sure that we don't get cut ourselves as DNI, because the DNI and crew did get cut, and I just want to make sure I'm upholding that diversity, equity, inclusion, and making sure everyone feels represented in all their voices always. And making sure that everyone can be able to come to me about these problems and know that I am on this board and I can help them.
Yeah, I think definitely addressing kind of where we know where the university kind of stands, but it's still very vague. Like, what can and can't we do? What, like, for example, student organizations under UDC, are they supposed to kind of change the way they're running, change any DEI positions they have? For example, I am like VP of DEI for another club. Is that going to change with for a club that's maybe not as as big as USG, but definitely kind of providing clarity for students and helping to still give them a place to navigate, because especially when it's kind of in question and maybe they don't feel like they have as much of a voice, is when we need to create those spaces more than ever. So really working together to create maybe areas of feedback for the school, even though there isn't maybe necessarily like a specific department they can go to for DEI concerns, but also as well as working to host a chat where we bring in administrators and have students come and ask their questions, so we can kind of just bridge this gap between administrators and students and all of the various questions that they have, especially regarding visas and financial aid and everything past even DEI, like everything that it encompasses, because we do have a very diverse campus and we need to do everything that we can to maintain that.
So collective issues I want to address is, one is the lack of disability representation on the Case Western campus. obviously I want to focus on many issues, any ones that the students come to me with, but I feel like a lot of those like disabilities aren't talked about. Like I'm on the board of ASL, American Sign Language, and I feel like it's very underrepresented here at Case, and I feel like a lot of people need to know more about it so they can be more informed about different situations and different issues. And I just want to make sure that everyone's voice can be heard.
I think it can definitely be scary at times like this. Definitely, when it feels like your voice is kind of being censored in a way, when diversity, equity, and inclusion is being banned, and universities are now enforcing it in order to get funding. I think it's kind of something that the university is disappointed with, and students obviously are disappointed with. So it's definitely just finding ways to work around the limitations that we have and working to still kind of push our initiatives through. But I guess redirecting maybe the way they would do it. So it may be a little more difficult, but we can still continue to work hard on what we're doing. Like, as I said, the prayer room initiative I was working on this past semester, it's definitely made it a lot harder with the budget cuts and all the DEI funding being cut, but that doesn't mean that we're going to give up. Like, it just means you have to work harder. It's kind of just a part of the job, I guess. Yeah.
So my entire life, I've learned to live with the uncomfortable, and I will make sure their opinion is heard, but also mine. And I'm very good at facilitating communication. I've worked with things where it's uncomfortable situations, but I'm not scared of that. I'm not scared to put my opinion out there and make my voice heard because I know it's important for the students here at Case Western Reserve University.
I think I've served in USG for a year and a half. I've worked in the DEI committee for a year, so I definitely have a lot of experience knowing the initiatives that are already running, knowing the initiatives that have passed, knowing kind of the politics within the system of how to make change at a large. Like, I know looking into USG, it may seem, oh, maybe they don't do as much of the work that we put in. I guess it's not shown necessarily because there are a lot of initiatives that are kind of very long. I can start something my freshman year and it doesn't actually get it put into action until years after I graduate. So that's definitely something that we're working on, like voicing, and especially DEI initiatives. They are they can be very long. Passing bills in relation to, I guess, the school divesting their funds, anything in relation to that is definitely like a long process, but something I want to work on kind of spearheading as a whole, working with other member of the committee. Like, I've watched the committee grow from 4 people this past year to 14. So definitely it's something that is, it's so I guess difficult right now, but the difficulty is what brings people in and really makes people excited to be a part of it and make a change because it is so necessary right now.
I'm a stronger choice because I've gotten to know a lot of the people here on campus, and I will continue to always fight for the students around me, not only because they're my friends, but because I want everyone to be heard. I have ideas of how to implement different things in different situations on how to bring D&I back, where just because we lost the office doesn't mean that things have to change for the worse. They can change for the better, and we on USG can do that.
I guess just to add on to the last point, I guess I forgot to add that, like, I've worked closely with administrators, VP Abkar, as well as a lot of the administrators for various campus buildings. So I think I have the experience. I know which administrators to go to. I kind of have that, like, pre-built connection, and I know how to work with them to create a change and the process of how to kind of, like, push for things, because the administration can definitely be very difficult sometimes to, like, budge for making a change. So yeah.
I just want to say that no matter what happens in the future election, I really feel for the Case community, and I've had different situations where I've felt uncomfortable with different situations, but I'm not afraid, and I am very adamant on making sure students feel heard, and I just want to do what's best for our community.